Assalamu alaikum. Jummah Mubarak. Okay, so I really kind of let loose in my stories and wanted to offer more here. So basically, yeah, my position, my view, my belief is that women hold a lot of power and we've kind of just given up on it. We've been, for a variety of reasons, we've been fooled into thinking that we don't have that much power, or we've witnessed that other women around us don't seem to have power. And so we've kind of gotten into this place where we're not really aware of the massive power that we hold. And because of that, we are running around doing all sorts of things to try and to prove our worth, to get what we want, to show that we're good enough, to live a good life. And basically we're exhausting ourselves. We're exhausting ourselves doing more and more and more that we don't need to do. And essentially kind of the summary could be that, if you consider men and women and their different roles, and I'm not even talking about necessarily traditional roles, but what I'm talking about is that the way that we operate, the way that we function, women just have been taking on more and more and more and more, right? And so what that's done is, at first it was okay, we can help out here, we can do here, we can be in the workforce, and we can do this and we can do that. But instead of it being a kind of supportive, environment of us contributing more, it turned into us just taking on more and men kind of dropping the ball on the rest. And so now women are just overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed. They have to be working, but they also have to be mothers, and they have to be, fashionistas, and they also have to be, workout, fitness queens. And we have to be all of the things, and it makes absolutely no sense. We cannot be all of these things. So we kind of boxed ourselves in to this corner where we're oh my gosh, I have to do, so many different things, and why am I constantly exhausted, and why do I feel like I'm not getting support? And it's essentially because we, it's almost like the stereotype of I got it, right? I don't need help. The woman carrying all the grocery bags in one trip, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do all the things in one trip. No, it's okay. We can take care of it. We can handle it. And basically, there is nothing inherently wrong with us taking on more, doing more if we want to. But what it's caused men to be complacent, and for us to cut them so much slack that they don't even do the basics. They're literally not showing up. And that's where it's hurting us, because now we're wait a minute, what are you bringing? What are you contributing? What are you doing? I'm pulling all the weight here. I'm pulling the emotional weight. I'm pulling the, in many cases, the monetary weight. I'm pulling so much weight here. What are men bringing to the table? And this issue, right, goes deeper. It goes deeper than just considering okay, I'm trying to get married and I'm not meeting a suitable person, or it's never working out. It goes deeper than that, because it really goes to the balance of feminine and masculine energy, of the balance of harmony in the household, the balance of harmony in communities, harmony in the world. And we're seeing that kind of literally men are just kind of running amok, doing whatever they want, however they want, and getting away with it because there is no check on them, right? If we use the example of the animal kingdom, right? The men are the apex predator. They're the highest in the food chain. And so if there's nothing to check that that power, it can veer off uncontrollably. And traditionally, women have been the check on that power. And I know someone's saying in this comment, I don't think it's all women's fault, though, when it comes to how men are behaviorally. I'm not saying that it's women's fault. I'm not saying that we are responsible for how men are behaving. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we have power to influence their behavior. And what men have made us think is that, oh no, we don't have any power. There's nothing you can do about it if I want to sleep around. There's nothing you can do about it if I want to leave you. There's nothing you can do about it if I want to marry multiple wives. There's nothing you can do about it if I, if I don't want to have the baby, or if you want to have there's nothing you can do about it. And what I'm saying is there is something you can do about it. There is something that you can do about it. You do hold power in the way that you can show up, carry yourself, not give men access to you. And I'm not just talking about men that you're in a romantic relationship with. I'm talking about your brothers. I'm talking about your uncles. I'm talking about your fathers. Like, letting them talk to you any which way, treat you any which way, say different things, watching them treat the other women in their lives without, speaking up for them. I'm talking about that. Your sons, all of it. I'm talking about all of it, that we do have influence over how men behave. So it's not our fault how they are doing it, but we have left them to be unchecked, right? And, when power gets to your head, you're unchecked. I can do anything. So it is absolutely their responsibility to handle themselves and take their, and do what they need to do. What can help them is realizing that there are consequences. There are consequences when you don't handle yourself appropriately. And what I'm saying is that women have given up on putting forth consequences. Again, I'm talking collectively, right? As a collective, as a society. And a lot of the blame of this goes on white women. So, us brown women, black women, women of color, Muslim women, may not even have so much of this blame. A lot of this blame goes on white women, leaving white men unchecked, and then brown men accessing white women and realizing, oh my God, these white women let me get away with all sorts of crap, and that influencing us brown women to be like, oh, okay, well, now I seem too strict, or I seem too picky, or I seem too prude if I say this or do that, because they know that they can go out and get someone else who will do whatever, say whatever, give up whatever, and it dampens our resolve to hold our position and to hold our power. So basically what I'm saying is, sorry about that. Basically what I'm saying is, women have a lot of power. You don't have to put up with the crap from men. You don't. You shouldn't. And when you don't, you hold a higher standard for yourself. You're like, I'm not gonna, tolerate this. I'm not gonna stand for this. I'm not gonna put up with this. I'm not gonna accept this. You hold that higher standard for yourself. And for any man who kind of can sense that, what you're trying to communicate, it gives them an opportunity to rise up. It gives them an opportunity to rise up. Yes, and this person is saying it happens in places where there's no white women. Yes, the American culture, Western culture has infiltrated the whole world, right? Everyone is watching Hollywood. Everyone is watching American movies and TVs. So the whole world is influenced by the behaviors of white women. So it is worldwide phenomenon that's going on. And the coaching that I do, the work that I'm providing, the support I'm trying to give is all to help myself, right? Help myself understand I have power, I have agency, I have control. I'm not being greedy, I'm not being demanding, I'm not being needy for asking what I want, for saying what I need. These are normal, these are God-given, these are divine, I am worthy of them. And so how can I embody and honor the divine representative of God that I am and navigate this world that is telling me, well, you should just put up with crap. You should just put up with men starting wars, and you should just put up with men destroying the planet, having oil spills here, and, you know, ruining politics there, and all of this. Like, you should just put up with it. Like, just accept, just be a good girl, just be nice, just try and do the right thing. Don't speak up. You know, there might be backlash. They might get back at you. They might say that you're bossy. They might cancel you, whatever. All of the things that make us feel that we can't speak up at work, that we can't speak up at home, that we can't talk back to our fathers, that we can't say anything to our husbands, that we can't, you know, say anything in a courtship, that, you know, we can't tell our parents what we really want. All of the ways that we just feel like we are being stifled and shunned and quieted, right? And what I'm trying to impart with you is no, our voice, our women, our divine feminine voice is needed to speak up, because that is the check. That is the check that helps to rebalance. That is the check to be like, no, this is not okay. No, I don't accept this. No, this is not how I want to live. No, these are not the things, you know, that I think should be going on. I think that's inappropriate. That even as simple as that is very, very powerful, because it's you standing, right? We have that hadith of if you see something wrong, you know, try and change it with your hand, or speak out against it, or at least hurt it, you know, dislike it in your heart. It is part of your action to speak out against it. It is part of your action to be like, no, I don't agree with this. Even if you can't change the situation or nothing changes, your voice stating that allows it to be like, okay, this is not just something that's just going to pass through and be unnoticed. Just like, no, I've noticed it and it's not okay, right? It's not okay. And I want us to really appreciate that, because the way the world has set up and conditioned women is that we, again, are told in so many subtle messages that you should be lucky. You should be lucky, you know, for what, and grateful for whatever you have, whatever male attention you get, whatever job you get, whatever, you know, income, worth, you know, all of the things. You should be lucky. You should be grateful. It's so much worse. Other people around the world are suffering more. Just shut up and suck it up. Shut up and suck it up, right? You're in a bad marriage. It could be worse, you know? You can't find anyone to marry. It could be worse. Whatever. You're in a bad situation at work. It could be worse. Everything, it could be worse. So just don't say anything about how bad it is there. No. It could get better if you say how bad it is. It could get better. And it could get better for all of us if we are all collectively saying how bad it is. Okay. So I'm just here waiting for something, and I wanted to share that. And my work around marriage and supporting women who want to get married is really to use the space of the courtship process, the marriage process, for them to own their power, own their worth, and stand up for themselves to create a relationship that is balanced. Because once you get into a balanced relationship, you're creating a balanced dynamic. And now the two of you go into the world, into your different workplaces, into your families, into your communities, and you spread that balance. So it's a ripple effect. So it starts with empowering you, then you get into an empowered marriage, and then your empowered marriage empowers others, and it can be, that can be the way that we change the tide of what is going on in the world. So getting married or not getting married has larger implications than just your own personal, I want to have love and connection and a relationship and a family and a home. Absolutely. I want you to have those things, and you should have those things, and inshallah you will have those things. But I want you to appreciate that there's even more behind it, that you doing this work is healing generational trauma, is shifting the world, is healing the world, is righting the balance. Because when you do that for yourself and then you do that with your partner, it again has a ripple effect. So anyone who's thinking, well, maybe marriage is not for me, or maybe it's not written, or maybe Allah is punishing me, or maybe, I'm being too picky, or I'll just be single. That kind of opting out, right? You're basically opting out from doing the work. You're like, oh my God, it's so hard. Like, it's so hard to deal with these guys. It's so hard to tell them what I want. It's so hard to deal with my aunties and my parents, and I don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm just going to live by myself. I can take care of myself. And you absolutely can, right? Women today can absolutely take care of themselves. We don't need a man, right? We can get a job, we can run a house, we can do all the things. But it's so beautiful to have a beautiful relationship. It's so amazing. It's a miraculous gift. It's a blessing from Allah. So it is a blessing, and you want to experience that blessing. And B, you can't get out of the work. You can't get out of the work. If you think like, oh, I can't deal with this, I don't want to stand up to people, I don't want to talk back, you will have to. You'll have to do it. You'll end up eventually have to do it with your family, or with your boss, or with your friends, or with whatever, or with politics, whatever. You will have to do it. So you might as well do it. You might as well engage in this work in a place that's going to give you a tremendous benefit of setting yourself up in an amazing marriage, which then helps you solidify as you continue to go out and challenge things in the rest of the world. All right. I'm going to end here. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you have any questions now, text them to me. Otherwise, I gotta go. Buy my book before I do. It lays this all out. Sign up for my webinar, Get Married This Year, as a great introduction. And then if you're really, you know what, Zahra? I want to be empowered. I want to stand up for myself. I want to take on my role as God's divine representative and do my part in healing and shifting the world. Then Limitless Love. Enroll in my premier elite coaching program, Limitless Love. My husband and I teach it. It's phenomenal. It's amazing. It'll change your life, every aspect of your life. And it's what I've gone through, what I support other people to go through. It's what I believe we're all here for. And of course, you can try and do this work on your own. It's really hard to do it on your own. So come, let me help you enroll, sign up, message me, comment. I will send you a link to have a clarity call with me so that we can get on the phone and see what's going on in your life, how it all looks, if this is really a good fit for you. And then I'll get you in. I will get you in, right? Like, you are a powerful agent sent by Allah to be his representative, spreading light, love, joy, peace, harmony, happiness. And if you're not experiencing that yourself or able to spread it to others, there's a problem. There's a problem. All of the Quran, all of the Sunnah is to guide us to feel good and feel better now and help others to feel that same way, right? The Prophet ﷺ is described as being so smiling that people just enjoyed his presence, that they felt better, right? He elevated the status of slaves, of women, of the poor to high ranks, right? The early Sahaba became transformers of the world, and they came from the lowliest places. Why? Because when you know your worth, that your worth is given by God, it's not given by the color of your skin or your parents or your tribe or how much money you have in your bank. It's given by God. Oh, girl, you're going places. You're building things. You're doing things. You're making magic. And that's what I'm all about. So sign up, DM me, message me, enroll, go to the links in my bio, consume my content, do the work, and let's make this world better, inshallah. All right. Assalamu alaikum.